we do speak about the elections, though, that we're talking about is that, yeah, whenever you vote and show for, represent for your party, and in knowing that whenever you do vote, that a lot of times that you're probably wondering is as to where that if there's any reason to explain, who you voted for, and maybe the purpose to where the why you think that if you vote for the candidate for your nominee, and anything else that you would have to say about that. But still that you have right here talking about with these examples right here that I put together right here, using the InDesign right here, and but you see this right here of talking about with the elections right here, the Democrats and Republicans, but out of a but by a country must must decide to whenever we must all come together as a nation. And so you have this writing right here, but still that whenever it comes to understanding about voting right here, that anybody might even think that first of all it goes by saying is to where that yeah, if you had an older brother or a sister that possibly that whoever that started they were registered voters, and let's just say that you were both talking about that in 102, that whenever you are a registered voter, that what does that usually mean whenever you go out and go vote. And it's another way of saying is toward that if you are registered to vote, that you can now mark you have your opinion about which candidate that you think that is best for that job, best for the job of handling that position right there. And so that's why it seems that way, that whenever it comes to understanding about politics and then the news and all that, and but still that talk about right here, talking about winning right here, and I'll go and put right here that that yeah, win by surprise right here. So really, that how many of us would maybe even think that that yeah, that whenever you win by surprise, win by surprise. Win by surprise right here. So really, that every time you do think about that, and you're 102, that yeah, win by surprise right here, and I'm like, well, really, that win by surprise, has winning ever been a prize of some kind, or like everybody would even 102, that if it's about winning right here, and so every time you do think about that, by the way, that you're kind of like wondering that that do you really win by surprise, or is it all about the fact that 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 that's not really a surprise? Those are the decisions made by the Senate, by the senator, or maybe by Congress or something like that. But still, that but you begin to wonder that that a number of times, though, that you're thinking as toward that yeah, you need to win, and that you need to win the states, by a number of delegates and all, but still that you win by surprise right here. And so whenever you do think about that, then you're warned toward that okay, yeah, by surprise. So that pretty much means right there is that that if you were to win the state by a certain number, though, then that it'll mean is toward a lot of those votes will be counted up. And yeah, like especially whenever a little bit later, and a lot of times that the vote results show up a little bit later, that you would more likely see that right there, to where that they would say on there that yeah, that some of those vote results would show up later. And so that's why it seems like that, to where that yeah, vote by surprise, they're like yeah, for later right here. I'm like 102 that does really anybody really need to explain why that in case if anybody's wondering that the results are going to be in later on. They're not going to be showing up now or so, but like it seems like that toward between now and election day that we're talking about that sometimes that some results don't show up until later on, and anybody that might even say too that I'll go ahead and take care of it later on, and how often are you really going to hear anything about maybe priorities or anything like that, anything the to-dos or something like that, anything such as chores or something like that that need to be done, but still that a lot of times you always want to know too that hey, that why is it that you are going to that there's something that that you could be working on, and something that you can do, like such as on your agenda, and you're 102 that hey, that why is it that a lot of times what you usually hear whenever it comes to getting something done that you'll go ahead and do it later, and so that's why it seems that way that if later is always spelt with just one T, or if you could maybe spell it maybe with 3 T's right there, later or something like that. I know everybody maybe want to know too that if you were to if you were to go ahead and be working on something, if you were to think about it, is to where later, later, you actually want something, they say that it looks good whenever you do spell it with 2 T's right there, and so that this is how you spell later right here, and in case of anybody's wanting to know too that whenever you do think about that you're warned to where that if you're going to be a little bit later getting something done, then it may not be spelt with just 1 A, 1 T, and 1 E, and 1 R. Like people might want to know too that, well, really, that it's spelt with 3 R's. It's not spelt with 2 T's or with 3 A's or something like that, but it's spelt it's spelt with with 1 R. But a lot of times I think everybody would say too that seems like the right spelling right there for later. If you were mad enough about it, then maybe you would say that this is how I spell it whenever you're trying to get something done, and if it's going to be late. If you're trying to get something done, that people would say that I'm going to go ahead and spell it this way right here, and I'll go ahead and spell it with I'll go ahead and spell it like this right here. So it's like later or something like that, and so a lot of times it sure seems that way that whenever you do think about that, and you're warned to where that whenever you're trying to get something done, a lot of times, and you usually hear that, by the way, that okay, I'll take care of it, but I'll take care of it later or something like that. So really that in case of anybody's wondering that do you really know of anybody who's maybe going to want to kind of give you a hard time about that, such as if you're going to take care of something, and let's just say if it's something really important, you're going to go ahead and take care of it later. And so that's why it seems that way, that what's the difference between turning the page between page left and then page right here, and you're 102 that you hear that for later, that they'll go ahead and they'll go ahead and take care of this later. They'll vote later. They'll go ahead and take care of this later, and they'll go ahead and respond later or something like that. So a lot of times it sure seems that way, that that whenever you try to talk to people into thinking as toward, okay, yeah, that, you know, you would, you ask, like, yeah, anybody that you're going to be talking to, that you're warned toward, okay, yeah, you'll go ahead and take care of something important, but still, it's like, you're 102 that, why is it that you hear the word later right there instead of compared to the, okay, yeah, they said that they would do it, yeah, now or later. And so half the time it sure seems that way. That really, what's one thing that you can maybe say about that whenever it comes to taking care of something important? And you 102 is toward it. Yeah, I think a lot of people would say that that for sure that we need to win is one thing that you can probably say whenever it comes to taking care of something immediately. And and a lot of times it's like, yeah, if you want an immediate response, then if you need a return or a response, if you need a response within a certain time, it's like, yeah, response. If you need a response of something like that, and like everybody may want to know too, that if you need an immediate response or something like that, and it's like, yeah, response. And, how many people even know how to respond? If you do get any sorts of text messages, by the way, or any sorts of emails or something like that, that, really, that, how do you really even know how to respond to most of those messages? And like everybody may want to know too, that, is the best way is to scan the QR code or maybe just by clicking the reply or something like that. But like everybody may want to know too, that, yeah, that, so whenever you do, reply, to a message of some kind, and like, you would maybe see something like that right there to where it, reply, or something like that. But still, it's like you win, by surprise right here. And for later, but still, that, everybody might want to know too that, that, if you're going to be responding to any email messages a lot of times, that, what's the first thing that you're going to be seeing whenever you do check these messages right here? And a lot of times, are you going to maybe see this, like a little sideways smiley face or something like that? And everybody may want to know too that, yeah, a sideways, no, that right there looks like a guy with a mustache right there. So if I were to type, I guess, I don't know if that's I don't think that's a silicone or something like that, but if you're going to be responding to any messages of any kind like that, and you want to know too that you look closely at that, it looks like a guy with a mustache or something like that, but still, if you were to respond to that, and says as toward it, yeah, that you go ahead and go by a username first or something like that, but still, or a code of some kind, but still, that, why can't, be like an abbreviation, like, we, WN, TW, or something like that, something like, toward a we, we need to win or something like that. We need to win, and then put the year on there. So everybody may want to know too that, you go ahead and put like an abbreviation right there just for short, and saying this toward, yeah, we need to win this election. And so if you were to put that in an abbreviation, and I'll tell everybody that, to me though, that sort of kind of looks like a code, but that right there looks like it's winter. It's spelled like you're spelling winter or something like that. WNTW24 right there. And in case of anybody's 102, that, win a trip to the White House or something like that. Or, it could be short for a lot of things, but still, that, would those really be the keywords that you would use if, for instance, is that if that was the response code that you assigned to the algorithm, to where that whenever you responded to this email earlier, that what you saw was not we need to win by surprise or something like that, but you saw this WNTW24 right here. And so, in case of anybody's wondering that really, that's not a word at all. And in case of anybody's wondering that's not a word, but it's like no, it's like a hashtag, to like abbreviation for a hashtag, to where, in case of anybody's wondering that if you would actually use that for any sorts of identification or something like that, and people may want to know too that do you even think that it would be an abbreviation to where that we need to win today or something like that? Do you even think that that it's supposed to mean any sorts of abbreviation for we need to win or something like that? And but still, that when we do talk about that winning an election, though, that everybody may want to know too that so this is how you're going to be able to how to respond to whenever it comes to the election right here, and you're thinking as to where that hey we need to win this election, and it's important. Like so something like that. But still, that whenever you do think about that, and you're warned to where that the WNTW right there for 24, and your voting is all about you, and so you got this right here. Voting right means that the place of your words is opinion of on the ballot. So so whenever you do think about that, and you're warned to where that do you think that maybe if you have conversations with an older sister and older brother, and maybe they're going to maybe say this to where a lot of stuff that you try to understand about that, and you're warned to where that whenever you are a registered voter, then what can you really explain to anybody about that? About what does that usually mean whenever you are a registered voter? Well, that means that that you vote, and but still, but like everybody else would say is to where that you vote, but then also you're putting your opinion out there, and also that like everybody might say that could that possibly be is to where that you now have the power to where you can go and provide your information on paper. And I guess in case of anybody's wondering that a ballot. A ballot is also like I could tell everybody too that the ballot right there, and whenever somebody gives you a ballot though to read from, and you're warned toward it, the ballot. Whenever they give you a ballot to read from, I'm like, a ballot. I'm like, they give you a ballot. They give you a ballot to read from, and you're warned to where that what does all that mean right there? Whenever we talk about the ballot right here, Proposition A and Proposition B, and other things are going to be on the ballot, but like everybody may want to know too that that ballot. It ain't like a lottery ticket. I'll already tell everybody that whenever you do get your ballot, that one way to think about that is that whenever we do fill out those ballots, is that everybody might even think that well, really, could they possibly be an example of a lottery ticket? Whenever you play the lottery, you got your chances of winning the prize, you're winning cash prizes and all, but still, then compared to a voting ballot, that whenever you do vote, by the way, on a ballot, that like they say that it ain't really like a ballot. The winners, I'm like, in case of anybody's want to know too, that you are filling out, whenever you fill out a ballot, what you basically are doing is that you're putting your opinions on that ballot, and then they count all the ballots, and then that's how they count the winner, for a number of votes that they counted, so. But still, you win, the ballot, and then for the count right here. So they count all those ballots, but still, so every time you think about that in your warrant tour, that for how that works, and everybody would maybe even want to know too that you count all those ballots right there, and see about how many ballots. I would say at least get by the numbers, it'll be about maybe over it's over 5,700 or so ballots that they count for an election day. But still, that so whenever you do think about that in your warrant tour, that it's from all those ballots that need to be counted, but still. But every time you think about that in your warrant tour, whenever you do go vote, by the way, that you're thinking as to where that, whenever you do vote, that you are providing your opinion on that ballot about who do you think should be elected, who do you think that should be picked for that position. And but still, you win by surprise right here. And so that's why it seems that way, that I'll go and show everybody here that win by surprise. And I'll go and zoom in right here, but talking about whenever it comes to voting right here. But anyway, these are some of the designs I came up with right here for the Harrison Walz campaign right here. But still, that you vote, and when we fight, we win. But still, that so whenever we do think about voting, right, I'm like, the Republicans, but so support from the people is what is needed in order to be able to win the future, to restore our nation, and for our voices, and when it's used. So each time you do think about that in your warrant tour, that win by surprise right here. So really, I have not really heard that whenever it comes to the election, but still, that whenever we talk about winning by surprise, what does that really even mean? I guess that pretty much means is that I went ahead and used by midnight. So whenever later by midnight, and I know it. I'll tell everybody that later midnight. By midnight, I know it. I think they'll probably even tell you that midnight, and I think a lot of polling locations close around 7 o'clock, something like that. But like everybody might say that, by midnight, and sometimes that you would have, the results in by at least by midnight or something like that. But still, that everybody would want to know too that whenever it comes to voting and everything, and you're thinking as to where that counting all those ballots and everything, and your warrant to where that sometimes those the electoral college and all those other votes are counted, and sometimes that is around 10, 11 o'clock that night whenever they're counted. But still, Yeah, I just really think in a lot of ways too that somebody's going to say that they voted early, they voted later or something like that, but win by surprise right here. So, but anyway, but yeah, they're talking about right here for we need to win the states, just to be able to win the nomination, and but still. But one thing about that is that whenever it comes to winning right here, showing support for your party, that it's like say is toward okay, yeah, that well, what really are the requirements about it? Like, well, you be a registered voter, right? But on the other hand, that one thing that I want to talk about right here was actually about whenever you win by surprise, but then also what does that usually mean if votes are counted later? So if you if you're wondering toward it, okay, yeah, votes that are counted later. So a lot of times that anything that you're working on that maybe not everybody really wants to hear later, that they want to hear something like yeah, well it'll be processed soon or something like that. But still, on the other hand, that just be patient with it. But still, I know everybody may want to know too that how many of us would maybe even agree that you don't want to stay up until 1, 2 o'clock in the morning want to know that who won the nomination. And but on the other hand, that talk about right here for win by surprise right here, and but still that on the other hand that you're thinking is toward okay, yeah, you turn the page right here, and but still. But whenever it comes to election time, that you want to show support for your party, for an election night. But anyway, thanks for watching, everyone, and have a great day.